Jaguars news, they'll be picking up right tackle Anton Harrison's fifth-year option. Harrison was drafted 27th overall out of Oklahoma in 2023. Colts running back Xander Edwards has received an offer from the University of Florida. Edwards led Florida in rushing yards in his sophomore season with 2,629 and touchdowns with 44. It's 81 degrees at 2 o'clock time and temp, brought to you by Beulah Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
Anytime Tom misses any time, we have to welcome Tom back. So welcome back, Tom.
It's good to be back. Girls, how you doing?
We're good.
Good.
Yeah, good.
Good. Appreciate the holding down the fort yesterday for me and my mother. Her service was yesterday. It's beautiful at Our Lady Star of the Sea. Reception at Lynch's Irish Pub, of course. Like where else
My
would
type
we
of
be?
reception.
Oh, it was great. In the back room.
Yeah.
Food was incredible. You had our own bartender. And then it went on from there. It was fun. I had a lot of old friends that knew my mom really well, former teammates, college and pro and Jags.
Sometimes that for me is the hard part. It's like the first time you've seen someone after you lose that person.
Yeah.
And I feel like for me, like I cry over and over and over again.
Yeah, it was emotional. I mean, they all had their own relationships with my mom. That's why I invited them. Like they really knew her and loved her, and ditto for her to them as well. So it was great. A lot of family, friends, framily, as we like to call them. We get to pick those. That's kind of fun.
Right.
Get to pick your family, which is awesome, and they were there too. So yeah, it was really good. It was really good. Father Tom Willis, who I've known since I was a Jaguar, he was our team chaplain. He married Christina, baptized our three kids, and he knew my mother, and his mother knew my mother, which he spoke about in the homily, and I'd forgotten about
That's
that.
so cool.
But he knew her pretty well, and it's funny. He mentioned the book, and he's like, and if you ever read Tom's book, you think it's a story about his dad, but it's really a story about his mom. You should see it at the end. And I thought about it. I was like, you're right. It's just interesting. So yeah, it was great. We really, haven't partied like that on a Monday in a while. So, but it was fun. I sweated it out today. I got into the garage and hit the heavy bag for a while. So feeling good. But yeah, overall it was fantastic. Hug your moms, hug your dads, and hopefully, your kids, if you're able to have, or just your whatever, how people feel about you, that they feel the same I do as my. I'm really appreciative. They're both gone now, so it's kind of weird, that they're both gone. And, not that I'm young. I mean, I'm 55, so it's not like totally out of the question. But
At least you have siblings.
oh
to
yeah,
keep the memories
No,
alive.
of course. But you just look, man. Hug them when you can. Tell them you love them. Your friends too. It's good. You just never know what's going to happen down the road.
And all those like different type of organic relationships that people have, like to you, it was your mom, and to a lot of other people, it was different, whether it was, just a family or a friend or whatever the case may be. And those are, it's sometimes fun to hear those stories, things that maybe you hadn't heard before or you forgot about, because it does kind of tie everything back together, that she was a big part of a lot of people's lives.
Yeah.
And
You guys look really tan. Were you guys
thank you.
tanning out there? What were you? Oh, thank you very much. We're working on my thing.
The weekend was not filled with sun.
No, I know.
This last one,
unfortunately.
no, but the weekend before, I was at the pool like 8 hours on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, so it's carrying over.
Yeah, it just it develops a little bit.
Yeah.
I walking
weekend was
the
crazy.
dog. That's about all I got.
I know you already talked about that UConn Duke. We were watching it live like a lot of people.
Yeah.
Man, it was that's the
Wild.
maddening. That's got to be the most maddening way to lose like that. A great way to win. I mean, come on, a kid hits it from way beyond the arc. It was so. My dog started barking because I was like, "Holy, it's just awesome." I love that part of the
As long
tournament.
as it's not your team that
Yeah,
loses.
that
No,
has to watch
know,
that.
I know, I get it.
And
I
it
get
is like we were talking about it in our little media office over there yesterday about other sports that have that type of moment, because it's like it's hard to relate it to everything because it is final second. You have to make this shot. Multiple things. Lauren and I talked about it yesterday. Multiple things have to go wrong for him even to be in the place to make that shot. And so how, like, you know, talking about other ways that that can happen, but the final second, like, and you don't even really want to, maybe Hail Mary, but that to me, even a Hail Mary, you're almost like, it's not going to happen. It's just kind of, we're lobbing it up
It's
there.
more
And hopefully,
luck.
it's more luck than anything. But the, you know, maybe a long field goal in the final second to win, or a
Hockey,
shootout.
I feel like, has it,
That's
yeah.
what, something like that. But it's hard to compare that moment to other sports.
Maybe
of
like a walk-off home run, you know, in a really big game.
Yeah.
We talked about the Braves player over the weekend, Dominic Smith, who hit the walk-off grand slam
Oh,
for
wow.
the Braves.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must be exhilarating.
It was, and to
Jeez.
bring the whole conversation full circle, it was 13 days after his mom passed away
Oh,
of
no
cancer.
kidding.
Yeah,
Aw,
and so
good for him.
he decided to stay with the team out in California. Or he's about to go to California with the Braves, but he ended up staying with the team. He wasn't with his mom when she passed away in California. But now he'll get to go back and kind of say his goodbyes to everyone. But
good.
yeah, sports, that's what's cool about sports. It's also devastating and
Agony of
heart-wrenching.
defeat.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you're a Duke player, obviously you saw the boozers after the game, the coach, the fans, like, you think you've got it. Like, that's the part that's so difficult. Like, you think your team is going to win, and then just at the last few moments,
Okay,
they
so
don't
what
play well.
that let's just equate. If that happened on a football field, we would question coaching right away. Why is that? Why is the third kid, when he's got the ball, why does he even try to get rid of it? Why doesn't, like, I'm just asking.
get
I'm not
fouled.
saying what's
Yeah.
right, what's wrong, but you're thinking, like, man, first they get it in bounds, then they get it back to the, they go back, and then they throw it to him in the middle, and, like, there's hardly any time left. You know, I don't know. You know,
and it's a freshman. I think that's the other part
I
that
understand.
we would
I
criticize that in
understand.
football is if you're going to have
The
one
ball in
player,
hands, yeah.
one player who you're leaving it up to, make sure that it's someone who's done this before, right?
Yeah.
Like, don't give the ball to the rookie running back, give the ball to the veteran running back.
So that's
That's how
coaching.
I would assess it, is why.
Okay.
And Duke's a young basketball team, so it's a lot more difficult for them.
Yeah.
But other squads, you want to have that veteran point guard in there.
Yeah. Lot of freshmen though. Those Illinois kids. I never watched Illinois. I was mesmerized by them. Now they said the one kid, what's his name? Wegley?
Keaton Wagler.
Wagley. Yeah, they said he wasn't finishing like he was in that game, the last game, like in prior games. He was like he can slash and get to, man, the spin move, everything. But he was finishing strong, man. And then the other I don't want to call him rookies. The other freshman, he's got like a Yurkovich kind of name.
The one who's the son of the famous player.
Yes.
Stoyevich.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't even know that. Okay, but both those guys together, and then they're big men. It's fun. It's fun, man. Michigan looks like a middle-aged street team. I mean, they look like Dave
Welcome
Bennett.
to
You know what I
college
mean?
basketball.
Yeah.
No, I know. But listen, I don't get excited till it's this.
time,
It's sudden death. That's what, when you were starting to talk about it. It's not the same, but it's the same to the sudden death. Like in the playoffs, like it's sudden death, and one play
You're out.
can cost you the game, and then you're done for the year. It's over. That's why it's the madness. The way to lose like that, it's got to be so maddening. I mean, if you once, you just hold the ball. They follow you. Maybe, you know what I mean? It's just.
So in last year's
know.
national championship, Florida playing Houston, and Houston kind of lost the way that Florida lost to Iowa. They didn't get the shot up there, right, in the very last few seconds. And so then to watch Duke turn it over and have UConn be able to come back from at one point a 19-point deficit in the first half, like they just kept battling and battling.
Yep.
There's so many ways to win, and there's also so many ways to lose in the NCAA tournament. And it's so gut wrenching because you don't get another opportunity, right?
Yeah.
Like in baseball, even nowadays in baseball, we used to have the one game play-in and that was it, but now at least it's a three-game series. So you at least, if you lose that, you feel like, well, the other team was better than you. In these situations, you don't always feel like the other team is
After
better
one
than
game,
you.
it's hard. Yeah.
You just feel like you made some mistakes down the stretch, and
They were better
certainly-
that day.
Yeah,
You got to give it to them. If they
Correct.
beat you in score, they were better that
yeah.
day. I mean, I'm sure if UConn and Duke played again, Duke, maybe close again, but Duke might take care of them, But that's why it's so awesome.
Yeah.
Like, and those kind of plays happen. Like think about remember the Cowboys tight end back in like the early 80s. He dropped the tight end. Jackie Smith dropped a perfectly thrown pass in the end zone, hit him literally right in the stomach, and it bounced off, and they ended up losing. Like, It was just like moments like that.
Yeah.
You're just like the agony.
It's like
of
the Ravens
defeat.
and Mark Andrews a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah, like
Very
when he
similar.
fought. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of those moments, especially in football, because it is that one game. And there's a lot of postseason moments that we go to, and you're like, the catch that, the Des Bryant, and there was the Packers
Should've
one
been
that
a touchdown.
caught the ball, caught the man that caught the ball. And there's all of those situations, the wide left, and that one play changes the outcome of those games. And when you don't have series, that does matter so much. But we do after games a lot of times, especially in the postseason, we're like, if you played that game 10 times,
Right.
so-and-so would have won 8 of them. And then sometimes you're like, no, it would have been, 50-50 because that's how close they were, or some team gets lucky. And that's the wild stuff. And so when you have the one shot at it, then it's a little more devastating, I think, than to your point, Lauren. If you have a series, you're like, all right, they got the best of us in 7, or 6, whatever the case may be.
It just shows you the heightened every possession, how heightened it is. At that when you get to that point of the game and that point of the tournament and in sports in general, it's like every dribble, every possession, you better be on your toes. And the other team was, and then for him to pass it back, and the kid didn't even set up. I mean, he was kind of set up, but he just grabbed it and let it rip.
Braylon Mullins, also a freshman.
Yeah, right. A lot of freshmen.
And I told Taylor this yesterday after the game. He said he told SportsCenter, he was on SportsCenter, and he said, I thought that was to tie it up. Like, it didn't even occur to him in that moment when he got the shot off that it was to actually win the game. And yeah, that final score just rubs it right in my face. 73-72, the exact same score as Florida lost to Iowa. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Just trying to get over it still, people.
Yeah. Iowa had a little run, They took care of Nebraska.
Glad they're done.
Now they're done. Rightfully so. Illinois is a better team. There's no doubt. They're good. I mean, Arizona and who are they playing in the
Michigan?
Michigan? Yes, that's gonna be
I think both games are going to be really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a heavyweight battle, that's for sure. All right, let's get into some Jaguars news on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Ride with the Frangie Show.
We'll crank this sucker up. You can drop us off, and you guys can be back in your home planet before supper.
Let the Frangie Show drive you home.
Let's go.
We're going home.
Afternoons
All systems are working, Commander.
on 1010XL.
And that concludes the Joe C. Jack of All Trades show. Tune in next week where I'll be installing my own French drain.
Joe, wake up, man.
Hey, John, I must have dozed off.
We finished those projects you started.
Whoa, my seamless gutters are actually seamless.
And they're connected into underground PVC drain lines.
And my sprinklers. Wow, look at that coverage.
Next time, just call me first, Joe.
I will, but I ain't singing that song.
Clearwater irrigation
And drainage too.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday.
Litigated by Morgan & Morgan.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Game on, poker and sports fans. It's basketball time at Best Bet St. Augustine. Come join the excitement, watch all the tournament action on our big screens, and enjoy the game day specials at Aces Sports Bar. Ready to win? Play one of our exciting table games like Ultimate Texas Hold'em, 3-card poker, or Pie Gow, and claim your winnings. For more information, visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Throw your rifle and rod in the truck every Saturday morning.
This could be really special.
Go hunting and fishing with Jeff Lageman, Captain Kevin Favor, and Captain Kirk Walls on the Nimnicht Outdoors Show, Saturday mornings from 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Mark your calendar for Friday, April 17th at the Yards for the second annual Birdies and Bounces, presented by the Mackenzie Noel Wilson Foundation. This premier golf and pickleball tournament brings together competition, community, and purpose for an unforgettable day on the course and courts. Proceeds benefit the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida, helping create great futures for local kids. Register or learn more at bgcnf.org and click events. Join us for a day of fun and impact for youth in our community.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Since 1927, Jacksonville has trusted Coil Fencing to protect what matters. And I trust them too. From tough chain link to your commercial project to sleek aluminum fencing your HOA will love, Coil does it all. Did you know that Coil can also install, service, and maintain those automatic gates that help protect your neighborhood or business? To schedule a complimentary consultation, visit CoilJacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com. Coil Fencing, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Brown Family YMCA in Ponte Vedra Beach is better than ever. Come experience our new renovated spaces, including an expanded wellness center with upgraded state-of-the-art equipment, recovery solutions, brand new locker rooms, and the Horsell Center for Health and Well-Being, all designed to help you feel your best. And now you can join with no joining fee. Plus, enjoy your 4th month free. There's no place like this place. And you'll love what's new. Visit the Brown Family YMCA in Ponte Vedra Beach.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
I don't practice Santeria. I ain't got no crystal ball.
Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus is back. RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Well, if we had a crystal ball, we would be able to look into it and figure out just exactly how the Jaguars are going to handle the contracts of Anton Harrison, Parker Washington, Brenton Strange, and the like. But at least we found out yesterday, thanks to Ryan O'Halloran, that James Gladstone did say that the Jaguars will pick up the 5th-year option on Anton Harrison for 2027. And they have had discussions with multiple agents for some of those players. So that at least is good news. I do feel like you've got to have really good bookend tackles to be good in this league. Yes, the interior matters for sure.
Yeah.
But those bookend tackles are the ones going up against those really talented edge rushers.
Yep.
So if you've got 2 good ones, they've obviously already paid Cole Van Lanen. Now they'll pick up that 5th-year option on Anton Harrison. I feel good about it.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, look, Anton's a good player, man. He's a good part of that offensive line. Look, we all know they got to play better collectively because at times it was really good and at times it wasn't good, and not just, Seattle and L.A. with the, the 7 sacks apiece, the run game, and that there was a chunk of games they didn't do much in the run game. And I think that, that's what you're hearing now in the offseason. He was really into getting the run game going, which obviously helps the QB out a ton. But yeah, having the bookends, having them here, it takes a load off. You don't have to rush into anything. You've got the 5th year to work things out, and Anton should feel good. I mean, look, we saw what happened with Devin. You opted not to do it, said prove it to us, and he did, but then we couldn't keep you, and we're not protected in any way to really get anything out of what we did for him for the first 4 years by helping him, really develop into a player. So it is what it is. It's not a terrible thing. It happens to a lot of teams. You can only do so much, with protecting guys, but I like the move too. It solidifies the tackles. You don't have to press for one in the draft. It's not like you're like, oh man, we need a right tackle. No, you're good for at least a couple years, and I'm sure they'll extend him in that 5th year if he plays, good football. Look, he's got his athleticism is really good. The temperament's there. He can get ferocious. He can get ferocious.
Voracious.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, he can become an animal.
Yeah,
exactly.
We're on the same wavelength.
Exactly. But I like the move too. And again, you try to keep your O-line together as long as they're good and they play well together. You want to keep that together as long as you can because we know the more they play together, the better they should be getting on the field.
And they still have their swing tackle and Walker Little too, Taylor.
Yeah, and I think that when we go to, we talked last year when it came to Liam Coen making the comment about Anton of saying, when he's focused, like he can be really good, and that kind of left an open door but you don't know how good he can be and how much he's going to buy into the type of hard work and everything that this regime does ask for and actually require. And so you saw that. And so to me, this 5th year option does it's Liam Coen saying, okay, we've seen the hard work.
Yep.
do we think you can probably even continue to develop and get even better? Yeah. And one of the quotes that I liked from Liam Coen today too, he said there's a lot he can't do. There's not a lot he can't do physically. Now it's about seeing the vision of how good he can really be. So to me, that's Liam Coen saying you haven't even seen that yet. Like, so yes, we've seen the hard work and we've seen what that did this last year, but he thinks he can be even better. And so with this, you have this year to really prove that, and now a 5th year option to be like, okay, we're rewarding you because you did put in the work last year, and we saw the improvements all over when it comes to Anton. But you need to do that again. We've got to replicate this. You can't get complacent, and I think that the standard is higher for this regime, and I love that. I love that it's not just like, okay, you had one good season, let's pay you and move on. They want these guys to continuously prove themselves, and you do get rewarded for that, and this is part of that.
Absolutely, and like you said, Liam was like, when he wants to, he can be really good. And he showed that he wanted to,
And that's such a loud message. Like, obviously, we talked about
right
a
off the
ton
bat,
right
too.
after. Right.
I mean,
it felt like Liam had only been here for a few months and was already like, all right.
Throwing haymakers in the first round. Like, oh,
here's a zinger for all you media.
Yeah.
And I just see him venting, Anton, like venting to his friends, like at happy hour. Like, he said, if I want to. I'll show him.
I'll show him.
But sometimes that's what players need. And Liam obviously recognized that very early on, that here's a guy that's really talented. He's got the footwork. He's got the speed and the power. But he isn't putting in every single ounce of effort, whereas he talked about Devin Lloyd today, too. And he said Devin was in that building till 10, 11 o'clock at night and was working harder than almost every other person on that team because he had a lot to prove. And that's what you want is obviously, Liam told Anton privately, in addition to in the media, that he had more to give, and Anton met the match.
I mean, look, James and Liam and Tony, their united front is what? We want guys that love football.
Yeah.
Well, if you love football, that's, you can take that criticism and you can, use it as a positive way. Like, not go, oh, coach doesn't like me. Oh, he's not good. Yeah. And he's like, no, let's light a fire and let's go. But you got to have the right mentality, and Anton does. So I saw him more than a few times throwing his guys to the ground and finishing. That's part of loving the game of football too, when you're an offensive lineman, that you like to finish those blocks. It's that aggressive, gritty, we're just going to come at you and be physical as we can.
That has to be fun too for an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as, they're not as physical and they knock you back a little bit. No, but especially when you do it collectively.
Yeah.
Because you get really tight, as a group. And you're like, all right, us 5, we're the ones that got to set the tone. And they do. D-line and O-line, they set the tone for the entire team. And if you've got a badass group on both sides, on both sides of the line of scrimmage, and you can hang in any game. I mean, you really can. So it's that important. So, yeah, look, I'm thinking, I was listening to the boys on the way in, XL Primetime, like, I could see a guard in the draft maybe in that 3rd or 4th round, a bigger. I kind of feel like they want a little more size. Look, it's hard to have size, mammoth girth, the big, the road graders, when you want to run the screen game. Unless you got a really special athlete, and that's scary as heck. That's like watch Trent Williams, play fullback and come up in a motion and up the field.
Ezra's pretty athletic for a
he's
left
very
guard.
athletic, and he's not small. They're not small. They're just not road grading, move you out of the way. My girth and strength is just going to move you. It's more my tenacity, my strength, and my speed and quickness is going to get your way, and then I'm going to try to finish you at the same time. And Ezra he's very aggressive in that regard, but you have to wonder, do they need a little more? Does Liam, with this running game, does he want a little more beef up front, especially in those interior 3? Remains to be seen.
Well, Liam Coen was asked about that run game earlier today. He did say it needs to improve.
Winning is a fantastic deodorant. It covers up what stinks about you. It covers up what your blind spots are, what your negatives, what your areas of improvement are. And if we can attack those areas with humility, with honesty, with a relentless pursuit to improve those areas, then we'll still continue to work on the areas in which we're good, and we need to hone in on those things. But look, we're always looking for better balance on offense, right? I think the run game for the first 8 weeks of the season really kind of carried us offensively and allowed us to win some of those games. And then the pass game, the second half of the season, really allowed us to go offensively. And so we have to create a little bit more balance there.
Yeah.
For sure, balance. Winning is a fantastic deodorant. I don't know that I've heard that saying before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. And I was talking to the XL Primetime and Crosstalk of the just openness, because it'd be really easy to head into this and be like, look, the team went from 4 wins to 14 wins. You make it to the postseason. Yeah, there's work to be done, but whatever the case may be, it'd be really easy to do that and to lean in and specifically call out a run game, which we talked about it a lot. The first half of the season, it was a lot of the run game, and the offense took a while. There was a lot of drops. There was a lot of miscues. There was a lot of illegal formations. Trevor wasn't accurate. They were in the wrong. They didn't feel like they were in the right spots. Timing was off. There was a long list of problems when it came to the pass catching area of things in the offense, and the run game really kept them afloat. But at the end of the season, it really, and I don't know how much, because to his point, when you're winning, you're not really talking about it as much. If the Jags would have lost 4 of those last 7 games, then we would have been like, what happened to the run game? Why wasn't it working? Because you go through and you look at the numbers, and it's 28 yards. This is for ETN. 28 yards. There was the 74 and a touchdown yard against Indy, but 28 no touchdowns, 32 no touchdowns, 50 no touchdowns, 76 no touchdowns, 32 no touchdowns. After starting the way he did, and that is a drastic change that you started to see late in the season. But the other part of the offense started to click, so you didn't talk about it as much.
When the quarterback's playing out of his mind, like Trevor was, you're not going to sit there and be like, well, they just can't run the ball, and that's going to be the formula that ends up losing them.
Listen, I was guilty of it. I'll be like, yeah, but look what you're getting out of ETN in the pass game.
Yeah.
So it counterbalances it. But no, you really do need that run game, at least to be consistent. It's not like you're going to, he started off with monster against Carolina, and then he was at like 6 yards a carry for 4 or 5 games. Then it started coming down. If you could get over that 4.2, get that 4.5 range consistently, man, you got a heck of a running game. And look, the part of the thing they do factor it in, but I don't think we do, is our quarterback runs great. So you kind of almost got to add him to that running back, yardage. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, hey, man, he's a weapon. He takes off. They want him to take off and run and be defiant in that running. So
But could the Jaguars, towards the end of the season, Tom, sorry to cut you off, could the Jaguars hand the ball off and get the 5 yards that they needed? No.
But Trevor could.
But that's what Liam wants to make sure that in certain situations he can literally have Trevor hand the ball off and get the yardage that they need.
Yeah, and I think you look around the league, and there's a reason Kansas City added a top running back. There's a reason in recent years the Bills added a top running back, because it doesn't matter that it matters that you have the quarterback, but you also need to be able to run the ball. And that's something we've seen. We've seen Kansas City not make the playoffs this last year, lose in the Super Bowl the year before. And a lot of that was offensive line and then the run game just virtually not being there. And so teams are saying, yes, you can have a top quarterback and he can play out of the mind, but you have to still be able to run the ball consistently. And Coach Ingram was talking on primetime, and he was like, they just never committed to it in the second half of the season, and he felt like that was the bigger issue. We would come in here and talk about that. Why did you hand the ball off 12 times in the first half, but then 3 times in the third quarter when it was working? Or maybe it wasn't working. You don't abandon it just because it doesn't. And that's kind of the vibes I got from Liam Coen, is he saw those things. He's going back and he's now realizing that maybe the full commitment to the run, because it wasn't working, you abandoned it at moments when you should have leaned into it. And part of that is the postseason too. You stopped giving the ball to Tootin, and maybe the run wasn't working as efficiently as you wanted, but you were getting big runs out of it. And so why did you completely stray away? And those are things that I think have to massively be addressed this offseason, because people are going to figure out some of the other things. If teams come in and say the Jags can't run the ball, just stop Trevor Lawrence, or double this person and do whatever, then things will catch up to you pretty quickly. And that's what some of the best teams in the league have had to deal with.
Yeah. Even with like with Tootin, he finished strong in those 3 runs. If we saw more, we'd probably feel even more comfortable and confident that he's going to be our back. You know what I mean? He's got all the tools. He does. He's got plenty of size. He's not the tallest guy, but who cares? That doesn't matter.
And Mojo wasn't either.
Got built-in leverage when you're low to the ground like that. He's muscular, thick. His lower body's thick. He can run you over.
We haven't seen him in a few months. He could.
It could even be even more so. So. It's and a lot of that is when you run, your running game. It's that the back's got to hit the hole at the right time too. It can't be, you got to make that decisive cut. That's what all these offenses want. Like, you have 3 ways to go. It felt like a lot of times you just see it go right up in between the guards. You're like, A, we don't have the back for that, and B, it's like you're just wasting it down. You go off tackle, that wham play, that trap over on the tight end, getting outside on the numbers, those always seem to work, for the most part. They didn't work every single time. I think one thing they should add, because I felt like there were times last year where at critical moments too, like Trevor would have the ball and he'd keep the handoff. But man, if he pulled it and was conscious enough to, in certain situations, I think they'll add that, because think about that. If he does that in a natural type of way, he's not an option QB. I'm not talking like that, but in certain situations where he can fake that handoff and either give it because he read the defense right, or he pulls it and he keeps it himself because he read the defense right.
That's 2.0 of Liam's offense.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised because, at the end of the day, you've got to get those yards, right? You got to, and look, again, we'll criticize him going forward on 4th and 2, but you know what? He almost had it. If Trevor don't slip, he just slipped, it happens. If he doesn't slip, it's a first down. And we're all like, oh, what a call. But that kind of play, like you fake, and then it was all him. And, that can be a pretty big weapon. But you understand that you need a pounder. So that's why they went and got that Chris Rodriguez.
I think the other thing to me with the run game is, yes, it makes it easier for the quarterback and the offense in general to gain yards, but you also keep the other offense off the field when you control the clock and the time of possession. And that's where, if the Jaguars had maybe given the ball to Tootin more against the Bills, and obviously other games too, but in that specific postseason game, in that wild card game, you keep Josh Allen off the field. That's the best possible thing that you can do. It was absolutely the problem that day. So then you're also helping your defense and things like that. All right, more to do on the other side, including Tommy's take. Keep it right here. Helmets and Heels, 1010 XL, 92.5 FM.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Termite swarms are active right now in Jacksonville, and once they get inside, damage can happen fast. Termites don't knock, they silently attack the structure of your home, leaving behind costly repairs and long-term headaches. Protect what you've worked hard for with the proven protection homeowners trust. Terminix it with advanced termite treatment and prevention solutions. Visit Terminix.com and schedule your free termite inspection today.
David Garrard here, and once again, I'm reporting good news about how good my knees are doing following PRP treatment at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. For an old quarterback like me, my knees are in great shape.
You don't have to be a celebrity or a professional athlete to appreciate the everyday personal attention you'll receive at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. For any orthopedic need, call on the pros at SOS.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday.
Backed by
Morgan & Morgan.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick. We're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by May 14th.
Jacksonville, get ready. April 6th, the Florida Theater presents Leonid and Friends. This 11-piece band brings the sound of Chicago to life. Horns, vocals, all the energy. Hear favorites from Chicago, Earth, Wind and Fire, Stevie Wonder, and more. One night only, April 6th. Get your tickets now at floridatheater.com.
Do you remember?
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
We've all seen the Nike logo on many famous athlete shirts and hats. But what is Nike? The answer next.
When you file a claim with Southern Oak Insurance, we schedule one of our trusted vendors to work directly with you, which means a faster claim resolution. Find out more at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Nike is the goddess of victory. No wonder Scotty Scheffler wears that logo.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your national builder of the year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% in homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Tom McManus, Taylor Dahl, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you on this Tuesday afternoon. Let's find out what Tom's takeaways for today.
Now, Tommy's Takes. Protected by Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com, or dial pound law. That's all.
All right, my takes on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon.
Did you have to think about it?
I did, just for a second. You know,
It happens. If you miss a Monday, you don't know what day it is.
I'm going to go twofold. One is just, again, cherish your relationships. That's all I'm going to say, because one day they'll be done on earth, and hopefully you catch up in heaven, and that'll be a great thing. But cherish them, because I sure do miss my mom. And, anybody that's a loved one that passed, you miss them. You like talking to them, man. You miss I wish I could just pick up the phone and go see them or go just have a chat. So try to get those in while they're alive. My second one is during a text thread. I think it was part of the text. We had an email thread going in a text thread, and LB said, "Dream, Tom, dream." So I'm going to dream for a second. Dream big. I'm dreaming big. So 2026, the Seattle Seahawks will be the Hard Knocks team. Mm-hmm. 2027 will be the New England Patriots. And I thought, how fitting 2028 as we head into the new stadium and crowned the Super Bowl winners of 2027. We walk into 2028, and we are the team on Hard Knocks. I'm dreaming big here. So we've won the Super Bowl in 2027. Because I thought, I've said it before, you think about it, all right, we go into the new stadium. Do you want to go in and they drop the banner down like we're already champs? Or do you want that season to be the Super Bowl season? Yeah. I know. Yeah. You want both. You want both. But I envision
I want 3 in a row.
I envision walking in and the banner drops.
I love that.
Wouldn't that be fantastic?
Yeah.
So that's my take.
So we don't win it this season.
Whatever. I'm just saying we win it in 2027.
All 3.
Yeah, drop 2 banners. I don't care. But definitely drop at least one. Yeah. Takes by Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. But yeah, you said dream big. I'm dreaming. Not out of the question. It's not. If they make the right moves, if they build this team back into a contender this year, that's what we want to see. We want to go back to 96 through 99 when we were every year, right? What did we do? We did 9-7, then we did 11-5, 11-5, and then 14-2. You know what I mean? I'm not expecting 14-2, although we did 13-4 this year, so it's pretty close. Get on a run. Get on that run where you are that legit contender. And their story's not finished yet. So, look, we only critique what we can critique, what they've done, what they haven't done to date. But there's a lot of work to be done. Mm-hmm. And what we've seen out of James Gladstone is you don't know what they're cooking. You know what I mean? They could be cooking up something that we're hoping for, or maybe we're thinking about, or maybe we're not thinking about. Yeah. They're still, they've got enough weaponry to do it. Yeah. So, I'm going to wait, sit back and watch him do it, because look, the draft is great. It's hard to hit on all your picks. It's hard. You got 11 picks. It's awesome. Well, the reality is you might get 3 out of the 11 that are worth a darn. Mm-hmm. That are going to be really good players for you for a long period of time. Maybe you get lucky with half. But that's even hard to do. So you got to have that right mix. You got some replacements to do. You got to figure that out. But you got some time, and there's still players out there. Maybe they're, you mentioned Walker Little. Could he be part of a trade thing package? I don't know. You don't know. But I feel like after watching what they did last year under the radar, making that bold move for Travis Hunter, they got to be up to something. What that is, dream big. Go after Myles Garrett. I don't care how you get him. Just go get him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Bring Myles Garrett to this defense. And if you can keep either Josh or Trayvon with him, are you kidding me? Now you're like Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah.
Automatically, that would be like that. But I'm not saying they're going to do that. But that would be, that's a bold, that would be a bold move to go get somebody of that caliber to add to your team.
Yeah, I think I would be shocked with this regime if they had came out of this draft with 11 picks. I think there has to be something in the works to get some together and move up just because of the not having a first round pick. And, you want to be able to try and make up for that. And not saying you move into the first, but if you get some more seconds or thirds or whatever in those first 3 rounds, you want to have as many picks as possible. And especially since you don't have a first round, I'd be kind of surprised. And I don't personally want it to be that. I don't want to come out with 11 players because, to your point, Tommy, the chance of hitting on, when you're talking about hitting 11 guys, now they did that a few years ago when they had 13 picks, and we're talking about that draft as one of the worst drafts the Jags have had. And so that's what sometimes it's okay. You don't need to come out of there with 10, 11 players. Come out with 7 players, 8 players, talking about 5 that can start right away, that you're at least is competing for a position to start. That's what I feel like you're leaning towards right now. And I do think we're in a position where we went through it recently of, where do you think there needs to be starters coming out of this draft? And it's not really holes like that too deep. Maybe the linebacker is one of the ones we're talking about, but I do think so that helps a little bit because it doesn't feel like we're like, well, we need a tackle and we need a linebacker and we need an interior defensive lineman. And now that may shift once the draft, depending how they draft. Is Eric Armstead gone? What did they end up doing? Some of those things. Walker Little's another name, but it will be interesting. But I don't want to be talking about like 11, 12 picks at the end of this draft. I want to be talking about 4 or 5 really solid guys, and then, okay, here's some late picks. Let's see what they did in, the 6th or 7th, whatever the case may be.
Well, and it's so hard to evaluate their first draft as a regime because so many of the players did get hurt, right? And so it would be much easier to sit here and say, well, they can move on from Walker Little because we saw Wyatt Milam play tackle in guard, right? Like the way we saw Cole Van Lannon do it. And it would be easy to say, well, they don't need a safety because look at the safety room. It's burgeoning, right? Thanks to Antonio Johnson's development and Caleb Ransaw, but we didn't get to see Caleb Ransaw, and the list goes on.
Yeah, I mean, look, and it takes, a couple years sometimes. Look at the year Parker came out. I don't think we raved about him as a rookie. We were like, oh, yeah, he made some plays. He was good,
Brenton Strange, too. Yeah. We weren't in love with the Brenton Strange pick right away.
Yeah. Sometimes it takes, to really evaluate it.
And sometimes it takes a good play caller. Sometimes that's the difference.
That is a part of it.
But all right. Speaking of moves, Liam Coen spoke earlier at the owners' meetings, and he was, of course, discussing losing Etienne or Achan, depending on how you want to pronounce it, and the addition of C-Rod.
Losing a player like TJ, a first-round pick, the ability in the run of the pass, and some of the production, like that's going to be hard to match for anybody, right? But what I always really appreciate about C-Rod, when working with him in Kentucky and then following his career over the last few years has been his rushing yards over expected and his yards after contact. I mean, I think those are the 2 areas that you look at where you say, like, did you get more or about what the play was blocked for? And are people bouncing off for you? Do you know how to make people miss? Like, how do you make people miss? There's a lot of different ways to do that. And how do you gain yards? There's a lot of different ways to skin that cat. And ultimately, for me and for the type of style of team we want to be able to punch you in the mouth and get some of those hard yards, getting a guy like Chris to complement that room as it stands right now with Tootin, LaQuinn, and DJ, and those guys. So we're just trying to continue to add good football players in there.
DJ Dallas, of course, that other one. But rushing yards over expected, yards after contact. It sounds very analytical, but it basically is, like you said, are you getting what you're expected to get in the run game?
Yeah, because, I mean, there were moments, I think, in the first half that there were moments watching Etienne in the first 7, 8 weeks where I was like, wow, he's even going between tackles and getting yards there and running over some guys. And that wasn't things we saw a lot in Previously, it was get him on the perimeter, get him in open space, and that's the type of running back Etienne as Achan, whatever. And that's kind of shit. Then the first half,
for a while.
The first half of the season, I was really impressed with some of the things Etienne was doing with inside runs, outside runs, how they were using him, and that did kind of start to fall apart a little bit later in the season. But this is a physical team. We've talked about that a ton, of the physicality. He used the word savages at the beginning when he was first hired, and that is something that has continued in the sense of the offensive linemen that we feel like have connected here. The guys they have brought in defensively. You talk about the running back in Chris Rodriguez. That's one of a more physical back. They like that physicality side of things, and so that's something they're going to lean into. But I also don't, and we've seen the adaptability of Liam too. I just don't want to completely shift away from some of the things that when you talk about the screen game that worked so well in Tampa, you want to have people and personnel that I think that was such a big part of his offense that you want to see that kind of form or formulate a little bit this year because you couldn't get it to work last year.
Yep.
And I'm confident he can because I just think that maybe it was a sense of there's a lot happening right now. A lot of guys learning new schemes and Trevor's mechanics and all of this that maybe let's just score points and not worry about, focusing on some of the things of the how we are scoring the points.
Yeah. Look, what stood out in those comments was we want to punch you in the mouth. And when I hear that, it's not just being gritty like they are, because they are feisty, but it's like getting that yard, I'm just going to punch you in the mouth and move you out of the way, basically. Like it feels like he wants that kind of road grade in the middle. Like, hey, if we it's 3rd and 1, I need a guard in the center and that back to go get me that yard. Yeah. I don't care if they just get it. You're falling forward, but you're moving people. Like you're getting them out of the way. That's punching them in the mouth. That doesn't mean they're not physical because they are, but to me they're more like they're physical in a like gritty, feisty kind of, not just boom, take you, turn you, move you out of the way, and my back's right up my ass, and he's got the first down, no problem. And that's hard to do. Don't get me wrong, but the difference in that type. Just take the guards, right? You get a big, wide butt guard that maybe 340 pounds might not be able to pull that great. Might not be able to get out on that screen game, but when you need that yard, he's taking that big, chunk of load and boom, and you're moving. He's an earth,
So we're
mover.
platooning offensive linemen now. We'll get.
No, you got to find a guy that can do both.
All of them.
So
that's where you're drafting.
And they're special. Those guys are special to be that athletic and that big. But again, you can get by with our guys. You can. McCary's a little smaller though. I mean, he's only 290, I think, for a guard. Again, depending on what kind of system you play, if you're more about movement and less about taking them and moving them, if that makes sense, you might want to upgrade that size at guard. I mean, look, I said with Walker, I thought Walker would look good at right guard, and that's a big-ass guard to have to handle play after play. 325 from 290 is a big difference. That's 40, 35 pounds. That's a lot of pounding.
Can Devon Hamilton play offensive line?
Oh, my gosh. He would be scary. By the way, put him at fullback on goal line and short yardage. Everyone else does it.
Let's mix it up a little bit.
Heck yeah.
I love it. All right, more to do on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
More Jaguars, more prep sports, more Gators, more Knowles, more Dogs, more golf. Plus original podcasts from your favorite 1010XL personalities. 1010XL.com.
At G&H Tires and Service, the G stands for great pricing. The H, well, that means honest service. For over 20 years, Roger and his team have helped Jacksonville drivers stay safe on the road. Need brakes, oil change, AC not blowing cold? Well, how about a super affordable $36 oil change? Affordable brake jobs, AC checks before summer hits, alignments for all these construction roads, and even free check engine light inspections. Locally owned, community driven. G&H Tires and Service on Beach Boulevard.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday.
Litigated by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
You think you can crush some food? Time to flex. It's your main man, E to the T. And Team 1010XL is hosting the food eating contest at the Clay County Fair, April 2nd through the 12th. Enjoy the rides, enjoy the music, amazing food, and fun. Find out more at claycountyfair.org.
Make Capital Glass and Shower Doors your premier choice for top quality glass solutions. With over 40 years of expertise, their team specializes in commercial and residential projects. From elegant shower doors to modern frameless enclosures, they've got you covered. But that's not all. They also offer glass railing systems, glass wine cabinets, and much more. For unmatched quality and service, choose Capital Glass and Shower Doors. Your vision, their expertise. Visit online at capcoglass.com.
Checkmate.
I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, Checkmate's mascot and brand ambassador.
Why do you even talk in these ads?
People see me on the trucks, Brendan, so they expect to hear from me as well.
But I have over a decade's experience personally installing high-quality polymer floors right here in Jacksonville.
Well, I'm a professional mascot, riding around on the side of your trucks, smiling at passers-by.
Then could you at least tell people about our 2-stage polymer application process? Give your garage the finishing touch with a gorgeous floor that's guaranteed to last?
A bit busy posing for selfies, I'm afraid.
Years of experience?
Check. Adorable mascot?
Check. The team you need to make your garage gorgeous? Checkmate!
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com. That's checkmatecoatings.com.
Want to show off that backyard flex? Purple Heart Pools, a veteran-owned pool company right here in Jacksonville, is offering a brand new custom pool and spa package for a flat $75,000. All in, no bait, no switch. You heard that right. Only $75,000 for a custom pool and spa. Now's the time to break ground. Game days, summer nights, and neighborhood envy included. Schedule a free consultation today at purpleheartpools.com. Purple Heart Pools, Jacksonville's veteran pool company.
Instant Keys is turning 25. A quarter century of saving the day when your keys mysteriously vanish. Seriously, it was just in my pocket. Or when that remote fob decides to quit working.
The dealership is such a hassle.
For 25 years, Instant Keys has been the go-to locksmith service for car keys, house keys, transponders, re-keys, and even high-tech smart locks. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you for honest, professional locksmith service. Use Instant Keys.
Hey, it's Brent with Arcosa Crushed Concrete. If you've got concrete or asphalt rubble on your site, let me buy it from you, and I will recycle it into construction material for your future projects. Arcosa Crushed Concrete. Get paid for what you don't need.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Sing with me, sing for the year, sing for the laughter, sing for the tear.
All right, we were just discussing a ton of Jaguars considering the NFL owners meetings are going on in Phoenix, and there's lots and lots of good stuff coming out of those owner meetings, including Liam Coen meeting with media and, of course, being asked about lots of things. I saw one of the questions someone asked him was about Jackson Dart. And I was like, I can connect like most of the questions to reason and to the reasons why you would ask him that. Jackson Dart, I feel like he was probably like, yeah, he's sure good. All right. Yeah. We didn't play the Giants this past season. I have no connection to Jackson Dart, but either way, this one certainly was a much better question, in my opinion, asked about getting the second-year players back that were hurt last season like we were just discussing.
Yeah, we're excited about some of the second-year players that, whether they were able to contribute last year or not, but specifically the Caleb Ransaws, right? Jalen McLeod wasn't able to play much. Getting Jack Kaiser a year better, right? Getting Travis Hunter another year, doing different things and how we, fine tune his role and schedule and the way that we look at those things on offense. Wyatt Milam, Jonah Monheim, a lot of young players that we're continuing to see hopeful ascension from that can come and either be contributors or competitors for playing time.
I love that. Not just contributors, but competitors. Yeah. Like, we're not necessarily going to hand any of these players anything, other than maybe Travis Hunter. He's probably getting the keys to the kingdom once again.
Listen, you already know that, Liam is all about accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could be as talented as all get out, but if you ain't doing the job and you're not doing it right and you're not making, you got to, he holds you accountable. You can tell he's all tough love. It's just a lot of love. You know what I mean? It's just a different delivery, but he doesn't let them get by with making mistakes. He'll tell us publicly.
Mm-hmm.
He's done it before. So I love his approach. I think the players like it.
Especially when he called himself out in that one players meeting that we got the video of. I called a bad play call. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Guys appreciate that. So, look, as long as you're real, you know what I mean? And they believe that he's real and genuine, and you can tell that he is, like, and as long as he's fair and honest and dedicated to winning, you're good. Like, you feel good about playing for somebody like that, and your staff is like that. But they coach him hard. And I love hearing that. I really do, because you need it. You need that accountability, man. It's easy to brush it off. It's easy to say, like we used to hear, oh, we'll fix it next week. We'll fix it. You know, you'd be like, what are you talking about? Like, fix it now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the problem is. So anyway, it's nice that they're that way, and that approach, you can tell, done the right way, and a different delivery today, which is fine. It still works, and I think Liam is, a big example of it.
Well, that's what I think when it comes to the competitor side of things. That's something we saw throughout camp, and we've kind of joked about it in the sense of we were like, why aren't they picking an offensive line? Like, the 5 guys who's starting week 1, we were 2 weeks before the first day of the regular season, and we were like, we don't know who the starting 5 are, at least that hadn't been officially announced. And at camp, during the camp at that time, we were still seeing everyone move around, and it didn't seem like anything was set. We were seeing the safeties were getting moved around, and it didn't feel like even that was totally set at the time. Linebackers, we were seeing some linebacker movement. The defensive line may a little different because Eric Armstead was hurt and Mason Smith was hurt, so you really just they weren't healthy to be on the line, but you were seeing the movement on the defensive line and what that looked like. And so they are not handing anybody a job. And that's why I don't think, even in the sense, they don't care if you're the highest paid player at that position. They want the best player at that position on the field. And that's one thing that I do respect. It's not always easy to do, because sometimes that's calling yourself wrong if it's somebody you drafted or if it's someone you paid in that free agency and they lose their job. Fred Johnson having to cut him, and that's someone you paid in free agency to come in here, and so, or traded him, whatever they ended up doing. But like, that's telling the world you're wrong in one of these moves that you've made. And sometimes that's not easy to do. And this regime has been very adamant about competition being important. And so I think that's a good thing, in the sense of you have these guys that you really didn't get to see a lot of last year in the rookie draft picks, and you want to see more, and you hope that they are competitors behind some of these guys that maybe you expect to start week 1. And we went through recently of, who do we think is going to be the starters on the defensive line, the offensive line? What does that look like week 1? And it could very quickly change. OTA start, and it's a different world if one of these young guys come in and you're like, if they blow you away, it changes very quickly in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, you look at, their draft picks, their common denominators, they're tough guys. You look at Wyatt, you look at LeQuint, Bashal, Tootin, those guys are
they
physical.
all played in the Senior Bowl.
Kaiser, physical, they like that type of player, and you can, and it's good. It's good to have that. You get the swag, a little street tough while you're on the field tough, as long as you can back it up, and they can, and they back it up because of what he's making them earn it. And it's a wonderful thing. Now, look, it's easy when they win, everything's great, but you stay true to that, and they will, because you can tell by Liam the way he talks and, the way you feel about him. Like, he's not going to let, like, it. You can tell this year is so important to him. Like, he's already said it. Like, it can't be a one-hit wonder.
Right.
I don't want to be like we were, because that's what's plagued this franchise for a very long time. We look good one year, and that very next year, we don't hold it together for whatever reason. Sometimes
and the way it ended, he was devastated.
Right. Absolutely. So, yeah, no, things, again, they got to prove it. You get a reset button, so we eventually forget about the 13.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was last year. That was then. This is now. And here we go. A clean slate to let's see what you can do in 2026. But the foundation seems to be there, at least most of it. You do, listen, it's real. You got to replace ETN. You got to replace Devin Lloyd.
Mm-hmm.
You have to. And until you do that, then, I wouldn't say it's good to let them move on, although, ETN was going to move on. Because of the money.
Speaking of replacing Devin Lloyd, Liam, we don't have this audio, but I can read to you the quote. He said, he was asked about Ventrell Miller, and Liam said, I think there's a lot of room for growth there. I think that when Ventrell was asked to play a lot of meaningful snaps last year, I think we saw some really good things. And then there's some things we can continue to coach off of. I think anytime you give a player confidence without telling them anything, like right now, if you're him and we haven't signed anybody yet, you should say, well, at least they believe in me. At least they think I can do it. It's now on him for us to all go do it together. So
a lot of truth in that.
Yeah.
A lot of truth in that.
And then you draft a linebacker.
If you draft Jacob Rodriguez, 56 from Texas Tech,
then Ventrell's like, oh.
Then Ventrell Miller gets
turn it up.
Yeah. I've told this story, like when Andy Ketsamori was coming out from Ohio State, and it was me and Schwartz, and we're both like, well, they draft him in the first round. Like, I'm gone. Like, I know I'm gone because he's a second rounder. I'm just some street guy that's been on the team for a couple years. You know what I mean? I'd have been the odd man out. And then when they didn't, we're both like, all right, it's between you and me. then it should make, Ventrell feel very good, especially if they go through the draft without grabbing anybody. Maybe they are saying, you know what, we believe you can do, maybe not be able to do everything, but as long as you can fill that, almost to the rim, we're good. We're good. He's got the athletic ability. I'd like him a little bigger, taller and rangier like that, but his speed is phenomenal. He's great in open space. He is a hitter, and he's pretty good with his instincts. So, he's got to, again, we haven't seen him blitz enough, but he's got to be a good blitzer. And I think, again, Lewican, I'd send more. I thought Devin was a good blitzer when they gave him a chance. So we got to get that out of Ventrell as well.
Yes, we do. All right, more Jaguars on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
We live here because we love it here. This is Jacksonville. This is 1010XL.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
It's a Helmets and Heels Tuesday, backed by Morgan & Morgan.
Spring is in the air, and Alev's long-lasting pain relief is here to keep you moving. The days are longer, and the flowers are blooming. Whether it's gardening, yard work, or just spending more time outdoors, spring has a way of getting us moving despite any body pain. That's where Aleve can keep you going. With just one dose, Aleve gives you long-lasting body pain relief for up to 12 hours. From sunup to sundown, Aleve's got your back. Try Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
If you've got to have more Gators, get them anytime with the Gator Podcast Channel. Served up by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Whenever you're ready, the Gator Podcast Channel is too. On the video and social channels of 1010XL.
Did you know that an annual coating inspection can extend the life of your building by years? Catching early signs like hairline cracks, fading, and moisture intrusion helps prevent costly repairs down the road and keeps your property looking its best. Our team at Performance Painting helps you stay ahead of maintenance with professional inspections and long-lasting coating solutions. Protect your building, protect your budget. Go to performance-painting.com to schedule a free inspection. Performance Painting, repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting!
Not everyone is built for a cubicle. At Local 234, apprentices get paid to learn hands-on skills like plumbing, pipe fitting, HVAC, the stuff Jacksonville runs on. No endless lectures, no massive student debt, just hands-on training, real jobs, and real pay. This is how you level up, by doing work that actually matters. Check them out at UA234.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Local 234. Make the right connection.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call now for your free evaluation and see if multi-unit hair grafting or PRP can restore your hair. Call 904-777-IHRS.
My bald spots are gone. Thanks, IHRS.
IHRS is the only clinic in the Southeast to offer all proven solutions to restore your hair and is now offering multi-unit hair grafting. One procedure, more hair.
You've got nothing to lose but more hair. I feel younger, I look younger, and who doesn't want to feel better about themselves?
This year, grow your hair back. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-4477.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by Coen Flowers. After sweeping the 4th-ranked Arkansas Razorbacks last weekend, the Gators have a midweek game tonight, hosting the Jacksonville Dolphins at 6:30. Thursday through Saturday, they will take on Ole Miss. The Gators baseball team has cracked the top 25, coming in at number 21 in this week's poll with a 23-6 record. It's 80 degrees at 3:01. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
We're always giving something away on the radio station. Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah.
I love that.
I do too.
We
All
are
sorts
just
of
so
giveaways.
generous.
Yeah.
That's right. So,
Giving's a good thing.
absolutely. Right now, family 4-pack to Sporting Jacks, the women versus Tampa Bay Rowdies. That game kicks off 7:30 on Saturday night at Hodges Stadium on the campus of UNF. If you would like to go and take 3 other people, be caller number 3 at 641-1010. Caller number 3, 641-1010. All right, more Jaguars. I want to run through. Ryan O'Halloran had 6 major notes that he had. He, of course, there in Phoenix for the owners' meetings for the Florida Times Union. The first thing about retaining both coordinators for the Jacksonville Jaguars, it was really important to not have to reteach. This is Liam talking. It was really important to not have to reteach systems and schemes and techniques. It will hopefully allow us to start a little faster this offseason. I would like to interject, hopefully allow us to start a lot faster
Yeah.
this offseason, and certainly the beginning of the season in general with all those pre-snap penalties that got in the way last year.
Yeah. It's funny. I've heard multiple coaches that are in year 2 make that comment of like Ben Johnson said the same thing. Like, I hope that in year 2, starting now, you are ahead of where you were at this point last year, obviously. But just because of, I think both and a lot of coaches when coming into that are making just so many mechanical changes. And then there's also the schematic things of the offense, trying to learn that in addition of just trying to make sure like the basics are down. And so I do think that already you're ahead of that. You have this full off season, now with Parker Washington, Brian Thomas Jr., Jacoby Myers coming in mid-season. So you do have a half a season with him, Brenton Strange, there's so many factors that lead into, especially the offense, being able to tune in year 2, being able to be already a step ahead in the sense of where they were in OTAs last year. So I do think that is, to me, a little obvious of being ahead, but I do think that to his point, it did take a while to sort out a lot of those illegal formations and false starts and some of those things that were happening. I mean, I remember in week 7 or 8 being like, eventually, like this has to stop. You're not going to keep winning a lot of football games if you're going backwards or constantly starting backwards. And eventually they got sorted out. It got a lot better towards the end of the season. So that to me is already a massive improvement, because if that continues to how it was in the beginning of, at the end of last year, then you're starting already where you're not having to be like, okay, well, immediately first play, you're going backwards. You are not going to have as many. It's not going away. Any team is going to deal with some of those.
And the wristband will be there.
The wristband will be there. Yeah.
I mean, just listen to one play call and you'll make your head spin. You know, you're like, and I got to memorize all those plays and all the checks and everything that goes along with it. I think especially on the defensive side that Anthony Campanelli's back. I think that's massive. That's one of the reasons I didn't want to see him go, because he could bring people with him. You would have to kind of start over. You could use the same system, but it would be somebody else's system, and he's right. You don't want to reintroduce it again.
Right.
You don't want to have to go through that. You know how hard it is to get that. And it's all the language. You know what I mean? And most teams run the same kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They just call it different. So you just got to memorize, and it takes that muscle memory going over and over and over, and then on the field over and over. So you understand why they started off slow with all that information just flooded their brain. And then you're trying to do it in a split second. It does take a little bit of time. So, yeah, that should be secondhand nature. Like, they should know there should be no issues, right? When we saw Trevor calling audibles that weren't called from the sideline, that says he had a great handle on the offense. So that should just expand even more.
Yeah.
Like, he'd go on him. He should be like, blindfold me and I'll put it wherever you need me to. It should be that confident. There'll be some wrinkles. There'll be some additions. There'll be new guys. You have to get used to that. But that hard part, that foundation is laid, and then you add what the season was and the experience on the field. I mean, these guys should feel all confident as they can be.
Yeah.
I mean, going in, I don't care what year you are. You're walking into year 2 under Liam Coen, under the new regime. You're 13-win, season winner or game winner. You're the division leader. The division, you should be walking in like, hey, we got to stay humble. No doubt. We got to start over and reset and all that. We don't want any accolades, but we also should feel pretty darn good about where we're at. And there's nothing wrong with that. I remember looking at training camp 97, 98 and looking around and be like, we're a good team. I mean, you know what good football players are, what a good football team is. And you'd look around and be like, holy cow, we added him. we added him, and then 99. You're like, oh my gosh, Carnell Lake. And you're like, are you kidding me? Like all these guys, like this is incredible. Yeah, we're a good football team, and
a lot of returning starters. Then a lot of returning starters for this season too.
Yeah. I mean, the core's here. You just again, you've got to add a little bit to replace, and you got to add a little bit to get even better. Than just replacing. So they're there. They're look. It'd be different if we're sitting here going, okay, what are their holes? There's like 6 of them. There's not.
We've done that before.
Yeah,
with
we
this
have.
Team.
Yeah. What does this team need? Everything.
Right, all of it.
All of it. Yeah, exactly.
I saw O'Halloran post too about the Liam Coen was trying to get Jonathan Grizzard to come to Jacksonville too, and that just made it interesting to me because I feel like that is Liam Coen planning for the future. Just because we heard so many comments at league meetings about Grant Udinski, and I think he's already preparing at this point. Like Grant is going to be somewhere probably in the next, if not next year, then definitely in the next couple years. And it almost felt like it was Liam Coen trying to plan a little ahead of that. Like, let me bring him to my staff, then I can make him OC or whatever the case may be, because it's someone who did work under him, obviously, at Tampa Bay. And so when I read that note, I was like, he's already planning. And we heard everybody rant and rave, including, like around the league about Grant Udinski, KOC being one of those guys, and he worked close with him. So that makes sense. But even just talking to anybody, and then you mentioned Udinski's name, and people just have the best things to say about him. So,
But Grizzard went to the Eagles.
Yeah, he chose Philly.
That was a bad move on his part. Speaking of Grant Udinski, Coen said he'll probably do a little more in terms of the preseason game play calling and giving him more of those opportunities. I gave him one game last year. That was the Miami preseason game, and then a little bit of Pittsburgh. So obviously that's the onboarding that Liam Coen is going to do for his offensive coordinator.
Right. And then here, not that it's the same thing, but here we go,
Yeah. Don't worry, that's not any regular season games.
No, I know, but whatever.
Look,
it is a fine line because you're trying to get him ready.
Yeah.
Because you want the best for him. You don't want him to leave after 1 year. I get that, but eventually you're like, look, Kevin O'Connell, like you said, he said we're all going to be working for Grant one day.
Yeah.
If that's not like a statement of what's to come for Grant Udinski, if he stays on this great path, you know what I mean? Like he's gone.
Yeah.
He is going to be a head coach somewhere, or an offensive coordinator, a really high paid offense. You know what I mean? Like he's on his way up. They all see it. He's a young guy. So to what you're talking about, you got to figure out, well, that's going to happen. So who do I get to groom? Because that's part of it. And that's the fine line. So you do want him to call plays because that'll give him a better chance to become a head coach, which you want. But if it's not going well, you have to take them back over, and then it makes him look bad. It's really a tough thing to balance.
That's why he's only getting preseason.
You think it's easy.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't matter. But you know what I'm saying. You still you want to give them some, like you gave him Pittsburgh. That's great. Gave part of Pittsburgh. That's great. You want to give him some of that. I would honestly prefer that he just never say anything. I don't, whatever. Whoever just call a good play. Well, if it's a bad play call, we're going to call it off. If it's a good play call, we're going to say it's
especially in this circumstance, because it was different with Doug and Press, because it was always like, okay, but who's calling plays? And we know in this situation, in the regular season, at least, it's going to be Liam Coen. He's going to be the play caller. Guys will chime when it comes, sometimes maybe he's like, Grant, you be the, third and short guy. And they'll do coaches with things like that who specialize in certain areas of the field or situational moments. But I could just see the storylines if in the offseason they're scoring 50 points and they're like, oh, well, Udinski needs to be calling plays because he just, sorry. What did I say? Off-season. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
But in the preseason, if they're scoring a ton of points and the offense looks explosive and BT looks a little bit back to normal, everyone's going to be like, oh, but let Grant call the plays in the fourth quarter or whatever. I don't want to get to that point again. It's
we
Liam
have too much
Cohen's
PTSD
offense.
for play calling that other teams around the league don't necessarily
Have to deal
They
with,
either have a great play caller, or that play caller moves on, or the play caller gets fired. There's really no two ways.
It's nice when the head coach has his offense.
Correct. And that's why even him talking about someone else calling plays, everyone around here tensed up and was like, no,
Groundhog
that's not allowed around these parts. All right, more to Jaguars to get to, but on the other side, a little college football snippet for you. Time for Lauren's Lane. When we return, you are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Good time, bad time? Time is an illusion. There is only the now. So now's a good time?
It's a good time for 1010XL.
Jeff Breyer, president of Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring.
And I'm Nikki Sema. My dad started in business when I was just 4 years old, and now we're 35 years and 20,000 satisfied customers in, and literally have a showroom in every neighborhood.
So whether you're looking to revitalize your home with new flooring or need more outdoor living space with a glass or screen enclosure, we've got you covered.
Visit our websites and don't forget to stop by our showrooms during our open house and cookout this Saturday from 10 to 3. Come see affordable luxury, experience a lifetime difference, and receive additional open house discounts.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday is
litigated by Morgan & Morgan.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional, and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Tell me if this is you, because it's definitely me. I go to bed thinking, tomorrow morning, I'm going to wake up early, jump in that ice bath I just bought, have a good breakfast, go for a morning walk, and order a veggie for my side instead of fries. Then the morning arrives. I press snooze, skip everything else I planned because I'll do it tomorrow. But that's the Awaken 180 difference. Tomorrow is today. It's so easy. You want to do it. Your coach will be there to help you do it. You won't want to let her down. Accountability, ease, feeling great. That's the Awaken 180 difference. Now you can download an app, Google a weight loss plan, or buy the latest gadget. But who actually helps you follow through when you couldn't do it before? I lost 40 pounds with Awaken 180, and it was easy. No meds. I couldn't lose 5 pounds in a month on my own. Awaken 180 works, and it continues to work because it's set up to not let you fail. Succeed like we did at awaken180weightloss.com.
When you're a little kid on the playground, they tell you don't hit back. Well, the courtroom isn't a playground. And if you've suffered an injury or death in your family, I'm here to tell you it's okay to hit back and fight to make them pay. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we understand all the pain and emotion that comes with being wrong. And we've dedicated our lives to making things right for people like you. So if you get hit back with Hastings Injury Law. Offices, Jacksonville.
If you want more teal in your daily diet, Jaguars Today with Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony. Exclusive guests, sharp analysis, and nonstop Duval football. Served by Renewal by Anderson, custom windows and doors. 10 to noon weekdays on 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. I've been telling you about Stanley Pools for years. But you know my favorite thing about this family-owned company? They take such good care of my pool. All I have to do is relax and enjoy it. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and their weekly maintenance makes owning a pool effortless. You can trust Stanley Pools to build your pool or upgrade it. They've done both for me. Call 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Liberty Landscape Supply is sponsoring Whiteout Cancer Night with the Jacksonville Icemen, Friday, April 3rd. Wear your Icemen gear in store and grab free game tickets while supplies last. Bring your ticket back with any $25 purchase and get a free 1-gallon plant. Liberty Landscape Supply has been making outdoor projects simple in Jacksonville for nearly 20 years. Find one of the 4 area locations at libertylandscapesupply.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. We've talked a ton of Jaguars, so let's get into a little bit of college football. Time now for Lauren's Lane.
Now, Lauren's Lane. Opened up by Closets by Design. Imagine your home totally organized.
As I'm wont to do, I love to look into the college football schedule for 2026. We talked about both Florida State and Florida's schedules for this upcoming season last week, but it occurred to me that we have this game in Atlanta to kick things off on Saturday, September 5th, and it's Baylor versus Auburn. Think about who the quarterbacks are in that game. DJ Lagway for Baylor. Byron Brown for Auburn.
Oh.
What happened the last time those two teams played?
Byron won.
Byron and USF beat Florida in Gainesville as USF won 18 to 16. Their stats were actually very similar. The two quarterbacks, DJ Lagway was 23 of 33 for 222 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The interception certainly hurt. Byron Brown was 23 of 36 for 263 yards and 1 touchdown. Brad Crawford of CBS Sports, his prediction is that Auburn wins 30 to 24, so a high-scoring game there. But it all of a sudden occurred to me, we've had this, but different, obviously, prior to now.
I like that, though. I feel like anytime you can add, because not every matchup in college football is going to be, for the regular consumer, super interesting. So anytime you have extra storylines in this sense where it's like, yeah, both of these are transfer quarterbacks, both from the state of Florida, both played last year, won, like similar stats, but USF beat Florida. And so that's going to be a fun storyline, I think, for people to follow along. In addition, I think just
angry.
I think for DJ Lagway in general, because a lot of people, we talked so much about DJ Lagway last offseason of, this is going to be his breakout year. He was in some people's Heisman talks potentially.
Even though he wasn't throwing the football.
Yeah, even though we weren't even seeing him practice. But that was the conversation of like, oh, look what he did in this bad team and glimpses. Now, like, wait until it completely unleashes. And you just never really saw that from DJ Lagway. But there's a lot of people who still think he has, when it has all the tools to make it happen. So that's always interesting, too, when a quarterback, when one of the bigger names, you would throw him in there, I guess, a transfer to another school, how they do at new school. And in this case, you have 2 quarterbacks that transferred from schools that are starting at new places. And then Auburn kind of in like almost a full, new coach and all of that surrounding them.
Golish, who came from South Florida, which is why Byron Brown transferred from South Florida to Auburn.
Yeah, and they were already, Hugh Freeze this time was on the hot seat. He was one of the 5 coaches last year that were like, okay, there was rumors that he tried to get Lenora Sellers because he was trying to get a quarterback. So they've been trying to figure it out in Auburn for a while with the quarterback situation. It's been a bit since they've had one that we've really wanted to talk about. And so them trying to get back in the mix and that, I think it's fun coming from just an outside perspective of that's somebody that's not a fan of an SEC school.
It's just a little extra juice in the game, and the NFL does a great job with that, right? They wait for the dust to settle, who goes where, and then they throw out the schedule. And they always have something like a rivalry or, a similar situation, quarterbacks going at it or whatnot.
By the way, May 13th of this year is when we get the NFL schedule.
Okay.
May 13th.
Cool.
Mark your calendars.
As far as Lagway, whether it's fair or not, again, it's not his fault they call him 5-star. But those stars, they just, again, he may be physically a 5-star, but does he play like a 5-star sometime is a different answer. Nothing against the kid. I hope he bounces back and has a great, finish to his college career. Maybe they'll let him play 19 years like Trinidad can play at Ole Miss. No, but, the kid does have the physical tools, but you just never know. And now we're going to find out. Look, he said, it sounded like he couldn't be too focused, or maybe he was too focused because he couldn't do anything.
His head
while
coach is on the hot seat too, by the way, Dave Aranda.
Yeah.
Taylor.
So he's got to, look, we'll see what star he is.
But September 5th, we get to witness that game nice and early. I love it. One other note that's not in Jaguars, and then we'll get back to the NFL. My guy, Olivier Ryu,
transferring
has entered the transfer portal, or at least will. 7'9", the tallest basketball player in the world. We would chant "Ollie, Ollie, Ollie" every time he would get in the game. He can dunk without jumping. He's from Quebec in Canada, but just never was able to find, obviously, enough minutes to be able to stay at Florida.
He probably wants to play more than the final minute of the game every now and then.
And he was there for 2 years studying under Todd Golden, learning from him. But at the end of the day, he probably wants more playing time. I know everyone around these parts is like, go to JU or go to UNF. Let us be able to see you play here in Jacksonville, which would be
Could you imagine that?
Really fun.
Him against some of the ASUN teams, they'd be like, oh, God.
That's how the Prairie View guy was to start the tournament. But
Can you build an offense around him?
Probably not.
Yeah.
He's not a Victor Wembanyama. He's not there.
He's not athletic.
He's
Doesn't
not super
seem
athletic.
very athletic. Yeah,
but
just big.
he's a
Or
great
Taco Folly, where it's like just
yeah.
like big and like can block. You could touch the rim, but you're not
Right.
super athletic and smooth. Like Wemby,
Yeah,
it's
like an
wild
oak
to
tree.
watch how he can play because of how
But
big
yeah,
he is.
I wish Ollie success wherever he lands.
sure.
He did play for Team Canada, the U19 Team Canada in the World Cup last summer. So he's had a little more experience than what we got to see at Florida. And who knows, is this Todd Golden saying, look, this just isn't going to work and I wish you the best of luck?
Yeah, find somewhere where you can get minutes if that's what you want. Yeah.
Or is it more Olivier saying,
Are there-
I want to play basketball and not
Are there
just ride the pine?"
7-foot females out
It's like the chairs aren't very comfortable sitting
you know what
in.
I mean?
I've never heard of a 7-foot
Well,
female.
he's 7'9", so
Correct. Yeah.
Like,
I
I,
know
mean,
there
even
are-
6 feet would look like
I
really
know there are
tiny
women
next
that
to
are
him.
over 6'5" because they play college
Yeah,
volleyball.
yeah, right, yeah,
But I don't know what the tallest woman is. I can see
6'5"
Taylor
is close
Googling
enough.
as we
that's close
talk
enough.
about it. but-
7 feet.
Okay.
7 feet exactly is the confirmed tallest woman in the world. She's from Turkey.
All
Gotta
right.
get them together, man. They'll have the first,
How old
50-pound
is
baby.
she?
Kid
Kid will be like 30 inches.
She's younger.
Okay, because Ollie's obviously only early 20s.
Mm.
But yeah. All right, back to
Give him time.
Jaguars football. We'll leave the Turkish 7 feet tall women alone for now. Travis Hunter, Liam Coen said it's an unspoken understanding that there are some depth things at cornerback that he can come in and help us out. The focus more so has been, how are you feeling today? We have not dove into specifics on scheduling and role. He was asked if Hunter might participate in OTAs. He said, I don't know. I can't say for certain. He's very well ahead of where he's supposed to be. I know the docs and athletic trainers feel really good about him. He, of course, tore his LCL on October 30th, ended up having surgery November 11th, which I thought the time in between was a little interesting. Were they waiting for the swelling to go down, Tom, with that LCL?
Probably. LCL is the
Lateral. Collateral.
Yeah. The inside
Yeah.
of your knee. I didn't know it. Well, there's the PCL, there's the LCL. Obviously, the ACL, that's the big
MCL.
one. MCL.
Yeah. There's a lot of ligaments in that knee.
No, I'm just wondering, because an MCL, you can if it comes off the bone, you have to reattach the MCL. A lot of times, I've been like, if you have an injury inside, you can stitch it maybe, and it'll heal because the blood flows there. ACL, it won't heal.
Right.
Right. It might get scar tissue, but it's not going to be strong enough because there's not enough, blood flow inside that part of the knee. So I don't know exactly with the LCL, but it sounded like it's a longer rehab. Like when I hear LCL, I'm like, it shouldn't be that big of a deal, but maybe it was.
It must be significant if Liam Coen cannot say
If
for
he
certain
can be in
that he'll be there
OTAs.
for OTAs.
Yeah, and if he had
'cause that's been
meniscus, that would
6
hurt too. Meniscus would be a problem.
And it was weird in the beginning, too, because they initially announced it as a 4-game. They said he'll miss 4 games, and then they were like, never mind, it's season ending. So it was weird to begin. And then now I just feel like it sounds like they're not totally sure, and they're obviously not going to push anything, but it says ahead of schedule, but I don't know what the original schedule was.
Yeah,
so was that, I kind of remember them saying he should be back by OTAs. So what part of OTAs does, what part of OTAs were they originally planning? Yeah. And then even that, like how quick are you just back starting to work out and stretching and doing those things? Or are you able to actually run?
Right.
Yeah. So, that's going to be interesting because if he's not there OTAs, then the next time you're going to see him is when camp starts at the end of July.
The depth quote was interesting. He's going to be there for depth.
That's what I was trying to figure out what exactly.
I thought he meant that they have more depth at receiver than at cornerback. And so that's naturally slotting, at least for this season, Travis Hunter into more corner. That's the way I interpreted it.
Yeah, I was trying. The wording was weird.
Yeah, it was. It was.
He'll be there for depth and at corner.
Yeah.
There are some depth things, and then in parentheses, at cornerback that he can come in and help us
let's
out.
just throw it out there. If he's strictly a corner, who's the best corner on the team?
Travis Hunter.
If he's strictly a wide receiver, who's the best wide receiver on the team?
Not Travis Hunter.
Jacoby
Not Travis Hunter.
Jacoby or Parker. Yeah, that's how
There's
at
your
least I
answer.
feel.
Yeah.
Or Brian Thomas Jr. if Brian can get back to that rookie season. And I say that confidently about corner. Outside corner. Jordan Lewis is probably the best corner
nickel.
on the field based off of the position he plays and the experience that he
that's what I
has.
was about to say.
But Travis Hunter plays more outside than nickel.
I think you could say, even though in the pro level we only see a small sample, that Travis is as good as a cover corner they have. I think he can cover pretty much anybody. I feel confident. You could put him on. I mean, not that people won't get catches on him, but he'll give them a day.
That's why I wanted him to be primarily a corner last season with splashes of offense.
Well, they need him. They really need him to be.
Well, they
I
needed
mean,
him on offense to begin last year was the problem.
That's fair.
They
That's
felt like you felt more confident in your corner room, and you felt like your
That's
offense
true.
needed help, especially those first weeks when you couldn't
and you
do
had
anything
Campbell.
past catching.
You had Tyson for a
and so
little
it
bit.
was. To me, it was a little different. You were going into that season needing a wide receiver more than a corner, so you did have to lean into that a little bit more. Now you do feel comfortable in your offense and your pass catchers, so you can lean heavier into cornerback, and not feel like you have to make that decision so difficult.
Yeah. How did Tyson Campbell's year end up with Cleveland? Did he have a good? Their defense was good.
I heard he was great.
Really?
I just did a podcast with one of the Browns guys because the Bears signed Devin Bush, one of the linebackers from the Browns. So I was talking to him. They loved Tyson Campbell.
Okay.
So he just, and the fit of their defense and all of that, the Browns actually had a really good defense. I don't think people realized because their team wasn't very good.
Yep.
But they had a top 10 defense, and a lot of it, they said that they loved Tyson, they loved Mason Graham.
They
loved him.
Yeah, he had a good year.
He finished with 1 interception for the Browns and looks like 18 passes defensed over the season.
Okay.
Yeah, because I know
Good for him.
Newsome only had 1 interception the whole time he was ever in Cleveland, and so they were like, "Oh, we already got 1 out of Tyson in a half a season." And they, from what I heard, they were very high on Tyson Campbell by the end of the year.
Good for him.
And I'm guessing their defense might be a little different than this defense too, because they can get to the quarterback so much better, and so you're not relying on your corners to cover as long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and their D lines, pretty darn good in Cleveland.
Right. That's what I said. Yeah.
Oh, that's what you're saying.
You're not relying on your corners to be on an island
cover
or to
guys
have
for
to...
5, 6, 7 seconds.
Right.
He's a physical cover 2 corner, Tyson. I mean, he was good against the run. And he, that one play that did it. When he didn't shut down the guy. When I think it was T. Higgins, he didn't get a hand on him.
Mm-hmm.
He was getting into that habit of that open swing. Open the gate, run next to you, and then try to react to your cut.
Yeah,
which is really hard
They wanted
to do.
the press man corner.
Yeah, they want you to not to have a free release.
Right.
Like
They didn't
you
see it out of
can't have a
Tyson.
free release. Right.
The problem is they traded for Greg Newsome, who also
doesn't do
wasn't
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
ideal.
They missed on him. I think that's safe to say.
I think we can say that. Speaking of the pass catchers, Liam Coen on Brian Thomas Jr. said, "This is a great opportunity for us to look at it with BTJ this offseason. There are the true areas where we can improve. Let's go attack it with relentless pursuit and not worry about the results and what happened last year." I love that because you're looking to the future and the potential for BTJ, not what went wrong last season. Yes, you have to improve the things of what went wrong last season, which we all know what those are, the drops and being a little bit tentative across the middle. But once they, I feel like, can get him into a good routine, a good rhythm, the sky is the limit for this guy.
Yeah, no, I agree. And look, for him, it's year 3, so we know what usually happens, right? Year 3, you either get have a really good year, maybe you get the extension early, or they sign your 5th-year option. And then you're obviously in a good spot, and they're protected. That's what they want. Look, Liam said it when they first got here. This is who we run it through. And again, keep in mind there were no. It didn't seem like there were a lot of drops over the middle over the year, once we got going. Part of that was Trevor being better, and part of that you brought in Jacoby.
Yeah.
I think that's why Diami lost
in the
his
middle
job.
often.
Yeah, he didn't have to go in the middle. That's why Diami lost his job. He there was a couple of times right in the hands, right over the middle. They bing, off his hands in critical moments when you needed that first down. And then you can't count on him. Then Jacoby comes in.
And I do wonder if they had been able, if Diami had played better earlier in the season, if they had been able to spread the offense even more with him on the field too at different times. Because we saw what he could do in training camp.
He was crushing it in camp.
And so if that had been able to translate, so then you've got the speed of Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah,
before Travis Hunter got hurt, you've got his speed, right? That's just, there's a lot more you can do.
I mean, the end of round, they fooled him every time in camp. And he was the one with the ball, and he was out running everybody to the corner. You're like, dang, he should. This is a great pickup, but it just never. Look, and you can't if you can't trust him. A 1-year, $10 million to Brian Thomas being a first-round pick. You're going to give him a little bit more time,
leeway too.
Leeway to figure it out.
And when you have a quarterback, sorry, Taylor, when you have a quarterback that has gone through some issues over his first 4 years in the league, you can't give him weapons that are afraid to catch the ball or not consistent catching the ball. Like that's going to make the quarterback more tentative. And then that's going to erase all that work that you did in the offseason.
Yeah, we were talking about the tight end that you put on the list yesterday. I'm trying to remember his name.
Tanner Koziol.
Yeah. He is
Houston.
one of those guys I mentioned where it's like he's really good at the kind of recovering when it's off-target throws. That was one of his strengths in college football. And sometimes when you have those quarterbacks that struggle, having somebody like that you can rely on, I think that's a Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers is that type of receiver that can make up for maybe some little bit of off-target throws or whether the timing's a little off just because he's such a professional and has such sure hands. That's somebody that I think this offense needed because you were trying to get over some of the hiccups of other things when it comes to formations and all of that. But you were also trying to overcome some of the timing issues that we saw early in the season between Trevor and BT, but Trevor and other guys too. But I do think that that's going to be something if you're taking last year and you don't want it. Yeah, you need to say eventually move on and Brian Thomas Jr. and let's look forward at what you can do. But there's also a lot of learning moments from last year of what you can and can't do with Brian Thomas Jr., what works. Some of those timing things that we saw get better throughout the season, those are things that I want them to take into this year because you don't want to see some of those things just start every year where it's like, okay, well, him and Trevor don't have this connection, but maybe later in the season he'll turn it on. You can't wait until week 9, 10 every year until Brian Thomas shows up. And that you just don't want that to be the circumstance every year.
And listen, Trev finished with like 61% or 60% completion. It's got to be around 67. So you meet in the middle, right? But if he gets more accurate, that's going to make it even better.
Now they know what they have in Parker Washington. This regime does. So they can have more targets go to him. Obviously Strange too, but you're going to have more limited targets for your tight end than certainly some of your receivers, especially one of your top 3 receivers. Because Parker also, in addition to Jacoby, is great at adjusting. If he needs to go, he's not the tallest guy, but if he needs to go up and get it, he'll go get it.
And he gets the yards after catch too, which
for
is
sure.
huge.
Which we saw a ton in the return game. But if he needs to adjust, like I said, his body, he can do that for sure. All right, the golden moment awaits. We'll get it to a little Major League Baseball. You are listening to Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
It's like sitting around the bar talking sports.
That's true talent.
1010XL.
Hey, I've got that craving again. How about some Mr. Chubby's wings?
Have you had the Chubby style wings? Grilled to perfection with Chubby's secret seasoning.
You know I have. They are so delicious. I swear you can't find anywhere in town with better wings and better prices on drinks.
So many different specials each night, too. Well, I'm ready to chub it up again.
Me too.
See all their specials at MrChubby'sWings.com. Locations on Fleming Island, the West Side, and Ponte Vedra Beach. Mr. Chubby's Wings. Before the game, after the game, and during the game.
RJ Saunders here, sports fans, and whether it's get well roses or a be happy situation, I always call the experts at Coen Flowers. Sending a floral arrangement is just so easy. Log on to CoenFlowers.com and leave it to them. Coen Flowers is the only name you'll ever need to know.
It's a Helmets and Heels Tuesday.
Backed by Morgan & Morgan. For the people. Dial pound law.
Frank Frangie here. Madness is back, and Nimnik Buick GMC is bringing the excitement with Shoot for Loot. This month only, when you purchase any new or used vehicle from Nimnik Buick GMC, you'll get a chance to take a shot and win $1,000 cash. That's right, $1,000 cash in your pocket with one shot. And the winning doesn't stop there, because when you shop at Nimnik Buick GMC, you're getting savings and selection. Nobody does a better job. I've been buying my cars at Nimnik forever, and I promise you I trust them. Go visit the showroom off Phillips Highway. And remember, nobody but Nimnik. GMC, we are professional grade.
When you hear Florida Gators baseball on 1010XL, it's brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors, Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville, and by the personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah.
Frank Frangie here. If you're expecting a tax return this year, here's a smart way to use it. Invest in new tires from Big Chief Tire. It's one of the best things you can do for your car and your safety. I've been going to Big Chief for years because they do it right every time. Put that refund to good use and hit the road with confidence. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 today and let Big Chief take care of you. That's Big Chief Tire.
When my dad tore his meniscus skiing, he was told that surgery was the only fix. But surgery meant giving up his hobbies, so we went to Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. They specialize in non-invasive treatments that get you back to fighting shape. My dad got a platelet-rich plasma, or PRP, injection. It took a fraction of the time to heal, and now he's back to doing what he loves.
Relieve pain and get back to life.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just the job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, I've got a simple question. How much does a 1-carat diamond cost?
Frank, that's an impossible question to answer because a carat is only a measure of weight for gemstones. It'd be no different than me saying, I have a beautiful wife. She weighs 125 pounds, which you'd find is a ridiculous description. Diamonds are graded for 4 factors, and carat weight is only one of those factors. The others are cut, color, and clarity, and each of these factors is graded specifically and set by a certified gemologist in an accredited gem laboratory. So when you ask about a diamond's weight, we're going to tell you more than just the price. At Underwoods, we want a customer to understand how all 4 factors of diamond quality relate back to the rarity and value of the diamond. Needless to say, we all understand the value of a dollar. At Underwoods, we want our customers to know what their dollar buys in diamond value. So if you're shopping for the best, stop by Underwoods.
That's at Underwoods in San Marco, in Avondale, or at the shops of Ponte Vedra.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
This one's for you, Taylor Doll. The Rays beat the Brewers last night 3-2.
Yes, go Rays.
Yes, thank you very much. Johnny DeLuca hit a 438-foot home run in the 7th. That tied it up. And then they ended up having Nick Fortes, that's their catcher now, hit a tie-breaking 2-out double. So the Rays did go on to win. But I wanted to make this note as far as the golden moment is concerned. 2-time All-Star lefty Shane McClanahan gets the start tonight against the Brewers. The last time he started in a game was August of 2023, which is 973 days ago.
Wow.
He had Tommy John surgery. Then he had a nerve issue in his left triceps that required surgery. He not
was
only
the
had
Tommy John in the same arm
left
as
arm?
that's a good question.
wonder if
yes,
they're the
because
same
he's a
time.
lefty. So yes,
Yeah,
it would
that
have
makes
to be.
sense.
Yeah. I feel like what we talk about all the time is the physical stuff of this stuff, but also the mental side of things.
Yeah.
Like you haven't gotten to do what
Almost
you
3
love
years.
to do. Yes, in like 2.5
Yeah.
years, and to watch all your friends and teammates get to go do this thing that they love, that you love, and you can't for that long of a time frame. I really hope he pitches well tonight.
Well,
for
and
his
then
sake.
also the seeing guys get an injury and then when they're almost back getting another injury is always devastating to watch too. I know
Absolutely.
Tariq Coen was one of the big ones that happened to because he tore his ACL. In the video of him training, announcing he was back, his Achilles popped in the video. And I remember being like, that's just absolutely devastating to watch a guy have to go through that when you work that hard to get back from injury 1.
Right.
And then you're probably getting back, okay, I get back on the field and I can pitch soon or play soon, whatever the case may be. And that happened. But yeah, that's a long time, almost 3 years. So I'm sure there has to be a little nerves walking out to the mound after that amount of time.
Yeah, and excitement. Like, man, I haven't done this in a long time.
Yeah.
It's got to feel incredible. I mean, injuries they suck. I mean, they just do. You can get depressed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people care, but they don't care while you're doing the rehab. Like they forget about you, and you're just doing your rehab, and you're working on your injury and your body, and you got the trainer. So they care about you. Coach may check on you once in a while. Maybe a teammate, hey, how's it going? That kind of thing. But at the end of the day, it's really just you grinding it out and chasing that dream, and hopefully you can get healthy enough to get back to whatever it is, throwing the ball, running, whatever it may be. And then for him to do that just shows, a lot of grit, because there are a lot of hours where nobody is watching, and nobody really thinks about that, but it's true. Where you're doing whatever, you're doing your rehab on your own, you're icing, you're whatever, you're stretching, you're throwing lightly, you're working out in the gym, like you're just doing these things that hopefully you can make it back and do something you've been loved doing your whole like.
It honestly makes me nervous as you talk about it.
That's
Like,
the
if he
grit.
goes out and just pitches terribly, like will he ever get to start again?
You're so funny. Jeez. Putting on the raincoat for crying out loud. Like you get the tarp out, I'm thinking the other way. I'm thinking like, man, what if he does?
No, you're right.
Yeah.
I just worry
what I mean?
because
No, I
it's been
know.
that long, and
Yeah.
pitching, as we know, is just so incredibly difficult. And to be able to throw over 95 and to have the ball go in the specific exact spot every single time, or at least close to it.
For a select few that can
Just
do
don't
that.
give up a dinger on the first one, all right? You're like,
Oh, no.
I'll be thinking positively when he's on the mound tonight.
I think they'll give him more than one game to prove that he can be back on the mound. They honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some limited pitch count in the beginning of this for him, just to kind of make sure, you want to keep an eye on the injuries. You want to keep an eye on just like the mental side of things and all of that for him.
And he's been working. They send you down.
Yeah,
when you're
you don't
like
just
rehab.
go into major league. You
So
work
you've
through
been
the whole farm system.
I know he pitched in
the whole
spring
system.
training.
Yeah, right. So you've been working on your game, and now they feel like, okay, he's ready.
Yeah.
Let's give him his shot once again, which is really cool.
I will say on the same note for the Rays, have you seen the jerseys that they have in the team store? I saw a post today, and so in it and at the team store for Tropicana Field, the topping of it, whatever that was, the patches on some of these jerseys on the inside have a piece of that tarp from the old trop that like blown off, and it's kind of they're like woven together is what they're called, like that, the community going through all of that when Hurricane Milton hit them. And so I just think that's kind of cool in the sense of taking something that this is going to be a rare jersey to have now at this point, but taking something that not everybody loved the trop, but it was still something that was there for a while and like have a little extra meaning behind some of that. So I thought it was cool too.
Yeah, little motion. To the game, which is great.
The Rays have good merch in general. They have good colors.
Yeah.
And I like when they go to the throwback, like the Devil Rays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the Devil Rays.
And the
they
spring
need to bring
training
back
one,
the Devil Rays.
I like
all the time.
The spring training had oranges on it.
Yeah.
I love that too.
Who was the guy that caught the foul ball when he was talking to a reporter with his bare hand? Do you remember that? It was a Tampa Bay Ray.
Oh, I do remember that.
His sister's famous, the actress, or they
Longoria?
Yeah, Longoria.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? He was like talking.
He was just like
reaches out, ding. Oh my
She's
God.
like, thank you.
Yeah, no kidding. Like almost took her head off. I don't know why they came into my thinking about the Rays. Like I remember that like vividly, and you're just like, holy cow.
Everyone remembers different things as they go.
Yes, they do, LB. At different times of their life.
Yes.
And moments of the day.
I can't find any minor league stats for Shane McClanahan, so I really think the last time he pitched was August 2023 and then spring training of this year.
That'd be kind of crazy. Usually they do build them back up after an
maybe
injury.
I'm just not finding it, but yeah, we shall see. All right, more to do on the other side, including the pest of the day. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010 XL 92.5 FM.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Stop letting high-interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. It's a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity with no appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan uses AI-driven technology to get you approved for cash in as little as 1 day with a rate that's at a 3-year low. One client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out all their credit cards, started a home improvement project, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,500. Call Loan Pronto now and see how much cash you can get. No hard credit pull up front. Imagine, this time next week, you could be credit card debt-free. Loan Pronto, A-rated by the BBB, with nearly 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Ready to dance? Right now on Hard Rock Bet, new customers get paid double winnings on your first 10 bets. And we'll keep you dancing all tourney with 2 profit boosts for every day of hoops. That's right. All customers can get a parlay profit boost and a live bet profit boost from now till they cut down the nets. Double winnings, daily dancing boosts, only on Hard Rock Bet.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida, must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Helmets and Heels Tuesday, protected by Morgan & Morgan.
My Gate Rewards members, this deal is just for you. Right now, grab any 2 12-ounce Red Bulls and get 2 of your favorite roller grill items for just $1. When you need a boost, Gates got you. See store for details.
So, you finally have some time to yourself. Even if it is just the car ride home, it's you time. And look at you. Do not disturb set before you even got in the car? Impressive. You've earned this moment to just chill and drive. This break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Well, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Liberty Landscape Supply is sponsoring Whiteout Cancer Night with the Jacksonville Icemen, Friday, April 3rd. Wear your Icemen gear in store and grab free game tickets while supplies last. Bring your ticket back with any $25 purchase and get a free 1-gallon plant. Liberty Landscape Supply has been making outdoor projects simple in Jacksonville for nearly 20 years. Find one of the 4 area locations at libertylandscapesupply.com.
Attention men and women. If you'd like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free.
Call IHRS at 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
Next time you head into a Gate convenience store, look for Form Energy Drink, designed to provide energy, hydration, and focus, straight from Dana White and AB, celebrating those who embrace grit, discipline, and resilience in their everyday lives. Check out Form Energy at a Gate convenience store.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Tom McManus, Taylor Dahl, RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Time now for the Pest of the Day is always brought to you by our friends at Terminix. You can find them online at Terminix.com. That's TERMINIX.com. They do a fabulous job. If you have any sort of termite issues or mosquito issues or ants, whatever it may be, you can trust Terminix and their technicians just like I do, as well as Everbank Stadium, ViStar Ballpark, and ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Trust them. All right, so PFF laid off several employees after Chris Collinsworth sold the company's business enterprise side to Teamworks. At a big staff meeting on Monday, they were told about half of them would move to the new company, most of those staying on the data side, and then the other half would be let go. Taylor, we were talking about this off air. Alyssa Lang's husband, Trevor Sikkema, he was one of the ones let go. He will still, I'm assuming, keep his podcast, the NFL Stock Exchange.
Yeah, he did say he was keeping that.
Yeah, but obviously you take a blow when it comes to probably some steady income there from PFF, and then other guys that we've had on the station, Dalton Wasserman on the show specifically too, Max Chadwick.
Yeah,
all
Mike
guys
Reiner
that
was another one.
Yeah, all guys that worked super hard to build their platforms. They're not going to be able to work there anymore, but obviously now they're free agents, so they can go other places, and hopefully a lot of them get hired by other sports entities.
Yeah, it's devastating when you see that amount of layoffs, especially when I know like all of the guys we just listed we've had on this show, and you can also see how like hard of workers they are by the content they're constantly putting out. And these guys are all ones that write articles, do podcasts, do all of the stuff when it comes to information, sometimes specifically for teams. Like Sycamore would do a lot of stuff for Tampa, and so he would kind of lean into that, but each of them kind of had their niche when it came to certain teams or certain categories. And I know we make a lot of comments about PFF because sometimes it's weird when you go through some of the numbers and graphs they have and you're like, there's no way that, this line was better than this line or whatever just from the eye test. But it was also a really cool source of information, and it sounds like some of that's going away for the consumer when it comes to having one place. You can go literally to that website and say, okay, divide by positional, and it will bring up every single linebacker, and you could go through the grades, which the grades are what people don't love, but in that same in that same page, you can go through and see how many of those linebackers had interceptions, what was their missed tackle rate, what was like. It's just a really cool place to go to one spot. You do need to watch the games, you need to go to other places and see some of the analytics, but to have one place where you can go specifically by position group and even deeper into that, you can go to, like just your division or however the case may be. So it's unfortunate that it does seem like the consumer is going to lose some of that stuff now when it comes to access.
Yeah. Listen, I've been laid off before. It's not fun. It's a terrible feeling to have to go home and talk about it, and people are calling you like, what's going on? And you got to go through all that. Look, there's so many platforms today, you know.
Yeah, that's the good
You'll find you should find a home if you've got the talent. But it's not easy. It's not easy. I feel for people that happens to, because that's a kick in the nuts, you know. It's
especially when it's no fault of their own. It's literally just transactions.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that we love when it comes to 1010XL and all the local companies that we deal with and the family-owned companies and those types of people that have owned those businesses for a long time. And maybe they've had the opportunity to sell and they say, you know what? No, I want to make sure that my employees are taken care of.
Right.
And if I sell this business, I have no idea what's going to happen to them. And they've worked too hard and it's not of their doing. One other thing I wanted to get to, we do not know who the quarterbacks will be in season 3 of Netflix's quarterback series. It's driving me nuts. I really want to know. Last year, I looked back to see when we found out it was June, and then the series debuts in July. I think they release all the episodes at once. But I've seen rumors online that it will be Caleb Williams. I've seen rumors that Kirk Cousins again for the 3rd time. I don't really
We
know.
don't need another Kirk.
No, we do not.
Enough of Kirk,
the first one was better than the second one, I thought. I didn't think the second one was.
It was Kirk last year and
Joe Burrow. I thought Burrow
I
was,
love Joe.
was interesting.
Well, you know I love Joe, but I was trying to remember because
when his mom was doing his laundry, that kind of I was like, I'm not watching.
and then Goff.
Yeah,
was
Jared Goff.
Goff is cool.
Yeah,
I
that
like
was a
Goff
cool
with his-
perspective. The year before, it was Patrick Mahomes, Marcus Mariota. That was an interesting one. And then Kirk Cousins.
Yep.
And I do think people got to see a different side of Cousins than they had ever seen
The
before.
toughness, because he took a beating that year.
Absolutely. And just his personality. Like he's kind of, not eccentric, but he's eclectic. I'll put it that way. Yeah.
I do. I like last year. I feel like they did it well in the sense of like, let's talk about an elite, really good, like Joe Burrow, top tier. Most people have him in that top tier quarterback, and Jared Goff, who's probably just behind that. And people argue, which tier, but just behind those top guys he is. And then a Kirk Cousins, who's, I feel like they could have found somebody else in that sense of a guy that's maybe moved around a little bit or that has been a backup but started at times and things like that. So I hope they keep that system and one that maybe they feel is like a true star, somebody that maybe is on the verge of being a star, and then somebody who is, whether it's like a kind of career backup or has had stints at starting and things like that, because it's fun to see the different levels of what the quarterbacks have to do depending where they are, what organization they're in and what level and where they are at in their career. It's kind of fun to watch too.
Give me Gardner Minshew. Let's go. Somebody with something that's fun. You know what I mean?
We do need some fun ones.
Like Cousins was good because he took a beating and you just saw the pain he was in and week out and how he fought through it. So you were like, and then you see Mahomes doing all that extra work. You're like, dang, he does all that stuff on top of going to practice. That really opened your eyes too. So I hope they get a good trio to follow.
Yeah, a lot of that mobility from Mahomes. All right, let's say hello to the Frangie Show.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnik. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Hazer, you said that we no longer have a beef between Liam Coen and Robert Saleh, as they both said it's all been cleared up.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see come the first meeting. Titans, Jags, if that pops back up. But
They stood far apart in the vote.
They did,
They were
13 coaches between them.
Yeah, we'll see. Liam strikes me as a guy that never really forgets. Like he may publicly say that, like, we're good. And Saleh, I think, is a little bit more, even though it's funny, he's the defensive guy and Liam's the offensive guy. Yeah. Robert seems a little bit more like, okay, like water off a duck's back kind of personality, where Liam, I think, is a little bit of an assassin. So I still think if Liam gets a chance to put an extra one up on Tennessee, I think Trevor Lawrence is probably throwing the football, not handing it off to Tootin. So we'll see. It should be a lot of fun. We'll certainly talk Jaguars coming up on the Frangie Show and some Gators and get into the tournament as well. So lots going on. Might even talk a little golf. We got the Masters coming up next week. CBS is putting out this 40th anniversary of Nicklaus's triumph in '86. It's going to come out Sunday at noon, the Sunday before the final round. So April 12th. I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah.
Can you believe that was 40 years ago?
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I was 9, and it's one of my first sports memories because my dad was such a huge Jack Nicklaus fan, still is. And
Golden Bear.
Yeah, so that'll be a lot of fun. So I'm getting excited. We're going to Augusta National here pretty soon as sports fans. So it'll be fantastic.
Is Tiger.
I can't imagine he shows up there. I mean,
liked the segment yesterday with Hastings, by the way. Like, he gave a lot of good information of that I didn't know with just the DUI laws and stuff like that of what may or may not happen with Tiger. But it was really interesting. So if anybody has not listened, go back to listen.
He was looking at his phone, man.
Yeah.
Simple mistake.
But he also had prescription
in his
pocket. In his pocket.
Yeah.
I don't think
he's
most
looking
of
at
us-
his phone, opening the prescription bottle, and holding on to the phone.
What
like
could
this
go
while he's
wrong?
Driving his knee.
I mean, I don't know about y'all. You have a dog, so you walk a dog a lot. Tom, I know you have dogs too. Every time when I'm walking the dog, and every time I see someone drive by that's looking at their phone, I'll say something. They can't hear me, but I'm like, get off your phone. Like, you're endangering other people, and that's without prescription pills.
Right. Yeah. So it's a sad story, and hopefully he gets his life straightened out.
Mhm.
That's right.
But yeah, so I wouldn't anticipate seeing Tiger next week, but maybe he'll surprise us. But boy,
Helicopter in.
yeah, but I can't wait to see how that golf tournament goes. I mean, that is going to be so much fun. So anyway, lots of fun stuff coming up on the Frangie Show.
All right, sounds good. Thanks,
Thank you.
Hayes. Yeah, that Masters. I guess we're gonna do another draft, snake draft.
All right.
Sure.
Why not?
Pick some players that are gonna win that thing.
I'll try to pick the winner.
Again.
Yeah.
That means one of your golfers will withdraw.
One with
You'll pick
that's
the
all I
winner.
need. Yeah, that's all I need.
All right, that'll do it for us today. For Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you tomorrow, but don't go anywhere. The Frangie Show is next.
One of these days, these boots are gone.